Welcome to Dark Ages Warrior. We're here, Jason, Sam. We're going to tell you a little bit about what the fuck we're up to, having our own channel.
We're going to share our thoughts with you, and hopefully we'll get some feedback from you and show you what we can do with our various malicious weapons of choice and why we even bothered to do this. We're not just nutters that like cutting stuff up in gardens and parks and woods.
That is part of it.
Proof test them. We'll chop some stuff up, get some things destroyed in the meantime by two very heavy-handed young men with pointy things.
Definitely. It's basically experimental archaeology for massive geeks. Massive not necessarily being connected to the geek in that sense.
And then we'll test them out and fuck each other up and hit them with stuff and see how much it hurts.
Oh, ooh, made my leg twitch. Probably worth mentioning that neither of us really have a fencing background, and we both tried to do. We went to one of those HEMA sessions. Now, all due respect to people that are into HEMA and that, but it came across as fencing, which wasn't really cutting it for either of us.
No.
We're both from a combat sport background. You know, I play rugby. Jason just kicks people's ass. I'm sure he can tell you more about that in a second. But on lots of different levels, beats people up.
That's such a good way of selling me to the public.
Yeah, so we were more interested in the combat element. And one of the things that we like, you know, we both have an interest in the Dark Ages. You know, that period of time where there isn't many historical documents to draw upon, and we felt that then we could offer something to the field by getting involved with the experimental side of things. So we actually try it out, learn by doing, and then discover and pass that on and create discussion, really.
I think it's as important to be proficient at, you know, as the longsword for HEMA, it would be just as important to be that proficient and have that sort of fighting art with something like this. The next time you watch a medieval film like you're watching Kingdom of Heaven and you're wondering, hang on a minute, how would that have worked? How would that have gone against that? Could he really have done that? Well, we're going to test stuff out, you know, and we're going to show you what would have worked and what wouldn't have. We're not going to be pulling any punches. If it doesn't work, it doesn't seem cool, it doesn't feel right, if we can't break it, if we can't do it, if I've, you know, heard of something and it didn't work, we're going to fucking say so.
You know, you're reading all the sort of Icelandic sagas. A lot of the heroes in that era were big guys, probably because, you know, the nature of what they were doing, it required strength, required power, you know, as well as all the agility and stuff. So when we're testing things out, I'd like to think that we're able to deliver it with a bit of force as well, which would have been in keeping with that era.
Fucking hell. Strength and conditioning for our, you know, medieval combat like that is again something missed in other practiced for, you know, like HEMA, for example.
So we'll hope to make some of it educational along the way, although I can't stop waving my lovely new Damascus steel sword. It's an indoor sword.
Basically, there's one manual for something like HEMA, and then even that, it's open to interpretation. It's very vague, you know, and even though it's huge, I mean, a lot of the sort of illustrations, they really don't give away a lot. Well, we're going to put everything into practice. You know, I'm going to get Sam using wasters, which, you know, the synthetic swords, for example, or synthetic axes, shields, etc., and we're going to go at each other with them and practice techniques.
Guess
it actually looks really small when you look at it you're being filmed, it actually doesn't look very like as big as it physically feels when it's in your hand.
Are you feeling inadequate size-wise in front of the camera?
Well,
It's just perspective.
Even
mate.
right.
It's just perspective. Look,
Yeah, I know.
massive, not so big.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's what we're talking about. And I guess the advantage of that is not only are we looking to test out weapons that, or how you would have fought with armor, but obviously the majority of warriors in that era, particularly early on, would probably not have had the privilege of much armour at all. Massive sword, massive axe, massive sword, massive axe. We've already sort of found out using those wasters that really affects how you fight.
Yeah.
Because you have to go in thinking, I cannot afford to take a blow for a blow, as it were.
And then a lot of fencing arts, and even down to your Knights of Chivalry having a tournament. Guys are in armor, and they train in armor, so their confidence is that much higher because they know when they get hit, it does not hurt or it won't incur injury.
Tiny.
Oh. Yeah. So we're gonna, without the false confidence of armor, we're gonna battle test these against each other. Oh. Hopefully you're as geeky as us and you'll enjoy that.